And hello. And welcome, honey. I am Big Meach, and this here is a Big Meach moment. I've been sitting on this and sitting on this and sitting on this because when the news broke, of course, we were all elated, we were excited, we were everything because, we have been wanting the release of Brittney Griner for such a long time. And now that it's upon us, she's home. She's back with her wife and family. Well, right now they're together, but she's still at the medical facility, being debriefed and going through all kinds of medical treatments and carrying on to make sure she's okay. They're going through mental health regimes to make sure she's okay, to get her to fit back into regular everyday world and things of that nature due to the time that she spent over there in a foreign country incarcerated. Now, many of us are excited and elated, but there's a number of us who are not. And because we are not, I wanted to have a couple of moments to share with you that will hope that, I don't know if it'll change your mind or whatever, but you feel the way that you feel, and that's cool. You're entitled to all of that. I just want to shed a little light on something that we can open up so that the dialogue can be a little bit more progressive. Because I think what is happening is that we're forgetting that these are all war games. Okay? Everything that has happened is all about war games. Okay? I'm going to read something that I saw on Instagram from someone who I call to be one of my children. Okay. One of my either children, nephew, whatever. He's part of my little gay family. And he's one of the ones that was very vocal about the release. And this is what he said. He said, "So wait. We traded one of the most dangerous men alive for someone who broke the laws of another country. Am I seeing this right? The Russian has murdered more Africans in his transactions than anyone in recent history with the sale of weapons. Is this right? She had an illegal substance that she knew was not allowed and got caught. And we do this? Really, y'all? Really?" Okay. Now, he's not the only one that feels that way. There's several thousands, maybe perhaps hundreds of thousands of people. I know a lot of Republicans and, staunch conservatives or whatever have gotten all up in arms about this particular trade. Even Agent Orange himself has released a statement saying that back during his tenure, when Paul Whelan was captured and carried on, that he did not agree or did not want to do the prison swap exchange with Mr. Viktor Bout for Paul Whelan. He said no, he wasn't going to do that. But let's look at something. See, at that particular time, the United States was not at war with Ukraine during the time that Agent Orange was in office, okay? Also, we were still sitting up here trying to understand what the relationship was between he and Putin, right? Because they were bedfellows, so to speak, and carried on. So the stakes were a little different. This time, the United States being an ally to the Ukraine, all of this came about because of that allyship, okay? Brittney has been going over there to Russia for what is it, 6 years, I believe. Let me look that up. I think she's been playing ball over there for 6 years or more. And I'm sure this is nothing new for her, because since the cannabis and stuff became um legalized or whatever, I know that she's probably been taking it with her over there, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a vaping pen. Okay, it's a vape pen. Now, granted, it's probably illegal over there and carrying on. I'm sure that due to the amount of it, it's in a cigarette pen or whatever. Um, if there was a problem with it before, either they made her throw it away, or it wasn't a problem because this is the first time that we've heard of this. Okay, so that there is something to consider. Yes, it says that Griner, she's been playing for 6 seasons in Russia. 6 seasons. Okay, so all of this of her going over there and things, I'm sure this is nothing new. This is something very regular for her. Okay, for them to target her. See, this is where I am with this. I'm trying to figure out how did they manage to target her. Now, many of you could argue, oh, okay, well, when they go through bag checks and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. She had to go through customs and she had to this and she had to that. And I'm saying, okay, interesting. My thing is, I know that because of her being a U.S. citizen, all of this was earmarked. Because at the time that she went over there to go and play, she was already on the plane. It is said that a lot of the coaches and everything were telling the sports players, do not get involved yet. Do not go overseas as of yet because we're in wartime. This is right when all this started to break with Ukraine and this, that, and the other. And when we started making declarations that we're going to help fight, we're going to be allies with Ukraine. This here is where all this gets very interesting. Okay. We did not go through any of this. And now all of a sudden she's on her way back home after playing. And then we get this. These are called war games. She's always been a prisoner of war. She's always been a casualty of all of this. Always, 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 always. So now that we're here, it's been 10 months. Then they want to sit down, and the way how they sentenced her to the harshest sentence that they could, as if she was smuggling ounces of cocaine or whatever the case may be, kegs or whatever, and it was ridiculous. Okay, however, there was nothing we could do about it, because those are Russia laws. But dealing with the whole nother country, dealing with how their government system works or whatever, we had to go and deal with the antics of it, right? Us being us, to come in and say, listen, now y'all know y'all wrong and this, that, and the other, Putin and then they're like, okay, yeah, we are, but what you gonna do about it? Okay. This is where it gets interesting for me. It gets interesting because according to what I've just read about Mr. Viktor Bout, okay, he was sentenced to 25 years here in America. Okay. They set up this sting operation to get him and carry it on. And basically, he was a gun supplier. Okay. He's the one that's been supplying all the guns. It says here that he was responsible for all of the guns that were used over in Africa. Wait a minute. Let me get this quote because this is coming from the VOA. Says that he was the main supplier of arms and ammunition to the terrible conflict in West Africa, which saw the murder, rape, maiming, and mutilation of over 1.2 million human beings. Okay. He was responsible for all of those particular arms. He was wait a minute, I'm trying to go back up because I want to I had another passage that I wanted to read about who he is. Okay. But anywho, him being the person who he was an arms dealer. Okay. It says that he was truly a monster in his own right. This is someone who spread his arms and ammunition around the world in the very dark corners of the world, causing pain and suffering wherever he went. Okay. So he was captured during a sting that the United States had put together. They got him in Bangkok, and he was captured in 2012. Well, he was convicted in 2012 to spend 25 years in prison. Well, it's only been 10, right? Uh, so now what we have are two completely high profile people. Um, Brittney being a basketball player from the United States probably became the most high profiled prisoner that they had over there at the time. You know, her notoriety and stuff had trumped Paul Whelan, who was a journalist. Paul was over there, and I got to get his story of why he was captured. But he's been over there. He's already been serving 4 years of a 16-year sentence that he has. Okay. Now, here is where this gets interesting because a lot of folks don't understand why this is happening and et cetera, and how did we go about doing all this and why did we exchange this, that, and the other. And even Paul himself said that he understood that, you know, the choice that was given, but he's still wondering how come they have not come to get him, which is understandable. Okay. Wondering how come they have not come to get him. And here it is. They're not coming. The United States, or rather, I'm going to put that on Russia. I don't believe that they're going to get him anytime soon because let me look him up here, Paul Whelan. I want to see why he was captured. Okay. Oh, he's ex-military. He's an ex-Marine. Okay. He's an ex-Marine. Uh, and they said Mr. Whelan, 52, was given a 16-year sentence in 2020 after being arrested in Moscow on suspicion of spying in 2018. Oh, he's from my hometown. I didn't realize that. He's from Novi, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit. Okay. They did not want him. He was not part of the prison swap. With Brittney and things of that nature. Mr. Whelan is a citizen of 4 countries: the U.S., Canada, the UK, and the Irish Republic. From Nomad, Michigan, he was born in Canada to British parents and moved to the U.S. as a child. Military records show he joined the U.S. Marine Reserve in 1994, about 6 years after he had reportedly begun work as a police officer in Michigan. Okay. So they're saying that they had accused him of being a spy. Okay, let me go down to why he's in prison. Since his first visit to 2016, Mr. Whelan made a number of other trips to Russia to develop an in-depth knowledge of the country. It was due to his knowledge of Russia that he was asked to attend the wedding of fellow Marine in Moscow in December 2018. His brother David told BBC NewsHour after his arrest. His experience of having already seen the Kremlin and having already walked around Red Square and navigated the metro, his friend felt Paul could assist a bunch of Americans who hadn't otherwise ever been to Moscow. Wow. On December 28th, he was arrested by Russian FSB State Security Agency, which claimed that he had been caught spying, quote unquote, in Moscow. At the time, there were uncorroborated reports that he had been caught receiving a digital storage device containing a list of intelligence officials. There was also speculation over other possible motives for the arrest, including a suggestion Mr. Whelan was detained so that he could be exchanged with Maria Butina, a Russian guns rights activist who was jailed in the U.S. in December 2018. She was deported back to Russia in October 2019. Okay. And I'm reading this from the sourcing on this is coming from the BBC News. And this was, it said 3 days ago. So, okay, this is relatively new. So they went to go look up why Paul was arrested. So basically, they're trying to say he was spying and they have not corroborated anything. And so now here we are. Okay. Again, war games. Did y'all hear that? War games. If the man was arrested and they think he's spying, okay, because he know his way around and this, that, and the other, they claim he has some kind of device or whatever, which they have not supplied the device or whatever, with all these intelligence and carried on, the intelligence of all the military officials or whatever. Okay, these are war games. All right. Now, did you hear what they said? They were holding him for the release of the other guns right person, activist, but they had already deported her. See, we're not in wartime. We weren't in nobody's war with them. So Agent Orange didn't necessarily see this as a priority. Okay, you got caught. They got to prove it, or whatever it is that they did. Okay, cool. What, I don't know what the U.S. Embassy is over there doing. We don't know what's going on. And this, that, and the other, we don't even know what the conditions are with him, because he was able to make a statement. When Brittney was released, he was able to make phone calls or whatever. So we didn't even know what his conditions are at this particular moment, you know. And I'm not saying that it's a good or bad thing, but I'm comparing that. Okay, the stakes are a little bit different here. Okay, Brittney on the other end is in this whole to-do because she is a direct casualty of this shit going on with Russia. Now, we may not like the tactics. We may not like that we exchanged the wrong people or whatever the case may be. Okay, but who else was going to be over there? Who else was Russia going to do? Because right now they want to make an attention. They want to say, listen, we got y'all by the balls. And if you want this girl, then you're going to give us that one. Point blank, period. As a matter of fact, that's what the negotiation said. If you want out, we're not giving you Paul. That ain't on the table. It's Viktor for Brittney. That or no Americans at all. She'll sit over here and do this on 9 years. He'll sit in there do his little 10 years that he got left, or 15 or whatever it is. And okay. Right? So now we get the higher ups together and do this, that, and the other, blah, they explain. Now, my thing is this, and this may be far-fetched. This may get this thing dinged or whatever. Folks may look at me like I'm crazy. I think that he may have been microchipped. I think in his treatment over here, I think he may have been microchipped, because if you think that this man is not going to get back into business when he's on Russian soil and carrying on to generate his paper, to get his coin back up to where it was, or whatever the case may be, everybody's stupid. If y'all don't think he's going right back to work. As a matter of fact, I just saw something. I don't trust the source because I don't like Fox News. And well, the local Fox News is fine. The national stuff I don't like. But I just saw something that said that he is looking to get back into the fight, to fight against Ukraine. But that there is the point, ain't it? That there is the point. If his release, or Russia wanting him to be released so badly, why? Because he has intelligence and carrying on to get arms and weapons and this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. He could sit down there and get weapons to whoever the Russian allies are and do his thing to help Russia win this damn war. Isn't that what the goal was? These are war tactics. Now, this is why I say I think he's chipped, because I think that we knew that. I think we knew that, and I think we're going to sit down there and have him monitored and marked. And I really believe that this is going to be a setup to kill his ass. I think that that's what this all boils down to. I think that they're going to assassinate Mr. Bout if he makes foot on trying to do anything with these gun things. Now, we may not like it. It sounds dastardly. It sounds horrible. It sounds all of those particular things. But we're talking about war games and war initiatives, honey. That's what all this is. This is war games and war initiatives. Okay? Mr. Whelan is not considered to be a man of war. He's considered to be somebody who it's a war tactic. But right now he's insignificant, because if he had any kind of stronghold on any of all this, they'd have killed him a long time ago. They'd have killed him. versus sending him up in the prisons. You understand? So something in this is where all this is. How come we could not look at this and say, hey, this woman is home? But I'm gonna tell y'all why. See, this is so layered, it's ridiculous. A lot of this, and y'all gonna turn this into a woman thing. Y'all gonna turn this into a gay thing. Y'all gonna turn this into a sports thing. Okay. Why is it that the athletes and carrying on? How come the athletes and those who are in entertainment, oh, they did that because she LGBT? You know, they got on her because she LGBT. You know, the LGBT always that. Listen, take all that shit out the equation. Take it all out of the equation. Okay? All out of the fucking equation. These are war tactics. All is fair in love and war, right? That's the moniker that they like to go by, or we as human beings that we like to say is real. So these are all war tactics. You ain't gonna like it. Hell, I don't know if I like it. The idea that this man is responsible for all these damn guns. I'm looking at everybody looking at, okay, he killed all these Africans, which is the motherland. Okay, yes. As far as I'm concerned, everybody who put them guns with Rwanda and carrying on when we were going through apartheid and all that other shit. If this man is the one responsible, fuck him, and everything that he stands for, fuck him with a glass infused dick, sharded glass dick. I don't, fuck him. Okay. At the same time, if he is the one who's supplying all these guns, is this the dude responsible for getting the guns here in the United States, or is that us? Is he the one of the guys responsible for all these weapons and stuff that we see on the goddamn street corners? Because they are military-style weapons. Remember, honey, when Russia folded, when it was the Soviet Union and it folded, a lot of his action and stuff, I didn't read that to y'all, but it's in the article. A lot of his actions and stuff came when the Soviet Union folded and became Russia. So when it folded, all of that military-style weapons and stuff, he's the one that had access and was spreading and selling and this, that, and that. And he sold it on both sides, on both sides so they could just kill each other up. He was breaking all the coin. We see all that kind of stuff on TV, don't we? Ain't that one of the episodes of Scandal? When they were sitting up there trying to outbid, they had the guns on the black market trying to outbid who, and this, that, and the third. We see it on the TV all the time. So these are war tactics. This man here, I'm looking at it like I'm gonna put it on him. Shit, maybe I'm wrong for doing it. I'm gonna put it on him. If you're the weapons dude and they calling you the messenger of death or whatever the damn title is, if you're him, then I'm going to say you and folks who are like you are responsible for seeing the guns in the community that we have here in the United States. While we got all these damn guns running rapid and we got these 12-year-old babies being killed on street corners and shit, while we got all this stuff going on. This is war. These are war tactics. Okay? You don't like it? Fine. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. The question becomes, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do to protect ourselves now that this man is released? Huh? The question becomes, what are we going to do to get the rest of the American prisoners home? Huh? Because we still got POWs. We still got POWs, honey, from all the other wars that carried on that we didn't have. There's still POWs that folks don't forgot about, don't even know missing. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know where they are. We know that they're missing. We don't know where they are, or we claim we don't. However, I can sit down here and I could Google my house, and from my computer, Google sit down there and pinpoint my damn house, and that's just me being a civilian. You mean to tell me with the technology that we have, you can't go in and find nobody? And y'all got sophisticated more. Y'all control the fucking satellites and shit. But okay. I'm gonna let y'all have that because that's not my wheelhouse. That's above my pay grade and carrying on. And for whatever reasons you're deciding to do all this, okay. But all of these are war tactics. So what we have to do is get ready for war. Prepare for war. Now, is it physical war? Is it spiritual war? Whatever? It might be all of the above. Okay? Because one of the things is that I know for those of y'all who are praying, prayer works. But prayer takes time too. Okay? So for those of y'all who pray and not praising this thing through and walking in the deliverance of all of this, walking in it as if already done, then something is wrong. Because that means your faith is not being exercised. Okay. For those of you who saying fuck prayer and carrying on, we need to sit down here and man up and get ready. Then what are we going to do? Because if they outnumber you and outgun you, what you going to do? See, we got to think about what this means in the totality of it all. How is it that we can get over on this? Because it's all of it doesn't make sense. It really and truly doesn't make sense. And then here's a bigger question that I have. Why is it that every time it comes down to the Ukraine and the fight, the United States is the only ally that we hear doing the most work? Where are all the other allies? What are all the other people doing? And I know we are a superpower and carrying on, but where's everybody else? Where are our allies to come to the rescue to get the rest of our prisoners out? Why is it that our allies who may have a prison, who may have Russian prisons or whatever, say, listen, we know you're trying to get this man home. How come we can't come in together and do a bop, 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 bop? I'm just asking a question. Because it always seems that all the laurels lie on us and everybody looking for us to be the answer. Everybody looking for us to have all of this, that, and the third. And yet they're seeing that we have a problem negotiating and nobody's coming to the table and say, hey, can we help out here? Can we help out there? What if we give y'all this to help sweeten the pot? Because we know we're going to get it on the back end. I don't hear that. Or if it's being done, that part is not being put into the equation when the American people talk about stuff. Okay. This is what war tactics are. Okay. War does this. You're upset that they released this man. There was a prison swap. Okay. I get it. I get it. But then again, I don't get it because at the same time, if you're not looking at it from a stance of war, if you're not looking at it from the stance of, okay, we got to get this baby home because it was trumped up shit. And yes, maybe y'all may say, okay, the charges were different. This man sold guns and this man is responsible for blah, 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 blah. But he was the high profile. He's their high profile. She was ours because it made all the news. Okay. It made, excuse me. My nose is itching. It's these damn morning allergies. That there is where this is. Okay. So I want us to look at it, be upset. If you're mad that this man is released, okay, be mad, be upset. But let's look at it from a war standpoint. Because like I'm telling you, I really believe he got microchipped and carrying on. I really believe that they got a tracking device on him some kind of way to where they're gonna mark his every move. And I swear to you, this man will be dead within 3 years. I'm saying within 3 years he'll be dead. I just listen. I just believe that. I believe this man is going to be murdered in the act of trying to sell these damn guns and shit. Hey. So I think it's going to end up becoming a 2-for-1 kind of thing. But again, that's just me thinking outside of the box. I don't know. I don't like all that war and carrying on. I don't like all that kind of violence and things of that nature. Hell, my whole thing is either, listen, you want to fight, take it to the boxing ring or take it to the dance floor, honey. Call each other a bunch of bitches that hold them motherfuckers and, and read a neck roll or whatever, snap a finger, click it, all that kind of shit. Take it to the flow, honey. Punch it out, duke it out, dance it out, vogue it out, whatever the case may be. And whoever gets up, standing and get the victory, that's who wins. That I've always thought that should have been how war should have been. Okay, all this killing and carrying on. Why we got to kill folks and things just to fight? You're saying you're fighting. Why we got to kill folks? Beat their ass, maim them to where they can't fight no more. Hey, okay, the most people standing. Okay, all right. Here, I mean, you may break an arm or whatever. You break a bone, that's one thing, honey. They ain't dead. You understand? You immobilized them, you maimed them. Why have we always been about killing to say we won? That's crazy. But that's war. Okay? That's war. The idea of assassination, the idea of annihilation. And these are war tactics. They wanted that man so that they can get back into the game and get ahead of this damn war with Ukraine, because Russia was getting their ass whipped by Ukraine. Ukraine came up in there and did a do-wah-diddy, and Russia didn't know what the fuck to do. So they sit down there, they get Brittney as a protest to the United States, and then found a way to have leverage, and they got this man up out of here so they could get him on the battlefield to get better weapons and et cetera, et cetera. Ciao, bye. So now, what are we going to do about it? All right, that's all I got right now, honey. I'm Big Meach, and this is the Big Meach moment, honey.